Ever had that experience where a song comes on the radio and you're singing every word, but can't remember the artist's name to save your life? That's the fascinating world of one-hit wonders we're diving into today. In 1980, as disco faded and new wave emerged, a special group of musicians briefly captured lightning in a bottle before vanishing from the charts forever. Their songs defined a moment in time. Songs you absolutely know, but artists whose names might leave you scratching your head. Let's uncover these hidden gems together. Number 1. Tired of Towing the Line, Rocky Burnett. When you talk about a musical pedigree, the Burnett name carries serious weight. Rocky Burnett wasn't just any aspiring rockabilly artist in 1980. He was the son of Johnny Burnett, one of the pioneers who helped define the genre back in the 1950s. Talk about pressure. Rocky's debut single, Tired of Towing the Line, burst onto the scene with a sound that somehow managed to bridge the gap between his father's era and the new wave explosion happening all around him. The song's irresistible hooks and authentic, rockabilly swagger propelled it to number 8 on the Billboard charts, and Australia fell even harder for Rocky's charm, giving him a 2-week run at the top of their charts. The music industry started buzzing about the birth of a second-generation rockabilly star. Yes, I'm ready to learn. Number 2. Yes, I'm Ready. Terry DeSario with Harry Wayne Casey of KC and the Sunshine Band. While rockabilly revival was making waves, a completely different kind of musical magic was brewing in Miami. Have you ever wondered what happens when high school connections transform into chart-topping brilliance? That's exactly what occurred when classically trained vocalist Terry DeSario reunited with her old Miami schoolmate Harry Wayne Casey of KC and the Sunshine Band fame. Together, they breathed new life into Barbara Mason's 1965 classic, Yes, I'm Ready, transforming it with a fresh pop sensibility that sent it soaring to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, while claiming the top spot on the adult contemporary chart in early 1980. Their voices complemented each other perfectly, creating a musical chemistry that listeners couldn't resist. What made this collaboration even more remarkable was its perfect timing. As disco was supposedly on its deathbed, DeSario and Casey created a bridge between disco and mainstream pop that captivated radio audiences everywhere. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Number 3. Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime, the Corgis. As disco was taking its final breaths in America, something magical was happening across the Atlantic, a song that would outlive its creators in popular memory. The Corgis crafted something truly special with their ethereal sound that felt like it existed in a different dimension from other hits of 1980. Their second album, Dumb Waiters, launched what would become their musical legacy. Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime wasn't just a song, it was an emotional experience. Basically, James Warren's vocals carried a vulnerability that touched listeners worldwide, helping the track climb to impressive heights across multiple countries. The haunting melody and introspective lyrics about heartbreak and personal growth created something timeless that continues to resonate with new generations through covers and film placements. Isn't it fascinating how a single perfect musical moment can define an entire career? Despite creating something so universally beloved, the Corgis quickly faded into obscurity after their brief moment in the spotlight.
Meet me in the middle of the day, let me hear you say everything's okay.
Number 4. Romeos Tune, Steve Forbert. These one-hit stories weren't limited to British bands. America had its own share of artists who captured lightning in a bottle exactly once. When Steve Forbert emerged from Meridian, Mississippi with his poetic lyrics and raw, emotive performances, critics couldn't help but whisper, "The next Dylan," in his direction. Talk about pressure. In December 1979, Romeos Tune introduced the world to Forbert's gentle melodies and heartfelt lyrics about love and longing. The song's secret weapon, That unforgettable piano riff played by Bobby Ogden, who'd previously backed Elvis Presley himself. The track resonated deeply, climbing to number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 while reaching number 8 in Canada and number 13 in Australia. Despite this promising start and the respect of critics and a devoted fanbase who still celebrate his artistry today, Forbert never again cracked the mainstream charts. His career became defined by that one beautiful musical moment, a familiar pattern we're about to see again. Number 5. Take Your Time, Do It Right. The SOS Band, abbreviation for Sounds of Success. Just as one folk hero's moment faded into history, another story was unfolding in Atlanta where irony took center stage. The SOS Band, whose very name stood for Sounds of Success, couldn't have chosen a more fitting title for their journey. In 1980, this electro-funk collective released a song that literally told listeners to slow down, while it raced up multiple charts at lightning speed. Take Your Time, Do It Right became a genre-crossing phenomenon, climbing to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, while simultaneously topping both the R&B and dance charts, where it reigned for 4 straight weeks. The timing couldn't have been more paradoxical. Here was a song encouraging patience that became an overnight sensation, and a disco-influenced anthem peaking just as the disco era was taking its final breaths. The band's blend of R&B and electro-funk helped shape the 1980s sound, with a positive message about enjoying life that connected across musical tastes. Number 6. Pilot of the Airwaves, Charlie Dore. As disco's final notes were fading away, a different kind of connection was being celebrated on the airwaves. British singer-songwriter Charlie Dore captured something magical in her 1980 hit, Pilot of the Airwaves, that intimate relationship between late-night radio listeners and the disembodied voices that kept them company through the darkness. Released in late 1979 as the first single from her debut album, Where to Now, the song's heartfelt narrative about finding solace in a DJ's voice struck a chord with listeners worldwide. This wasn't just another pop song. It was a tribute to an era when radio was our primary gateway to music, and DJs were the trusted guides who introduced us to new sounds and artists. The song's emotional resonance helped it climb to number 13 on the Billboard charts, also finding audiences in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand who connected with its universal theme of seeking companionship through the radio dial. Number 7. Into the Night, Benny Mardones. While radio offered comforting voices through the night, another kind of emotional electricity was about to strike the charts. In 1980, a virtually unknown singer with lungs that could shake stadium rafters unleashed a power ballad that would perform a chart magic trick almost no other song has achieved. Benny Mardones wasn't your typical one-hit wonder. When he belted out Into the Night, his raw vocal performance conveyed such genuine emotion that it created an instant connection with listeners, despite its eyebrow-raising opening line about a 16-year-old girl. The passionate delivery shot the song to number 11 on Billboard's Hot 100 in 1980. But then something truly remarkable happened. 9 years later, in 1989, the same exact recording returned to the charts, climbing to number 20. This ultra-rare chart resurrection made Mardones one of the few artists ever to hit the top 40 with the identical song in 2 different decades. Number 8. Turning Japanese, The Vapors. Not every artist gets a second chance like Mardones did. Some bands flash so brightly they burn through their entire career with just one unforgettable song. The Vapors, discovered by members of the Jam, rode the new wave straight into worldwide fame, only to disappear almost as quickly as they arrived. When Turning Japanese hit the airwaves in 1980, its infectious guitar riff and quirky chorus captivated listeners globally. The song rocketed to number 3 in the UK and landed at number 36 on American charts. But here's what most people still don't understand. That catchy tune about turning Japanese had nothing to do with Japanese culture at all. Songwriter David Fenton later revealed it was about the frustration of staring at a photograph of an ex-girlfriend, capturing that universal feeling of youthful confusion and heartache. But regardless of its actual meaning, the song struck a chord. Number 9. Take a Little Rhythm. Ollie Thompson. Family connections often open doors in the music industry, but they don't guarantee staying power. Just ask Ollie Thompson, whose brother performed with the internationally successful band Supertramp. In 1980, this Scottish singer-songwriter captured America's attention with Take a Little Rhythm, a song so infectiously positive it soared to number 15 on the Billboard charts. What made this track special wasn't just its catchy melody, but its timely message. As musical tastes were shifting at the dawn of a new decade, Thompson's upbeat anthem encouraged listeners to embrace rhythm and let music lift their spirits. The song perfectly embodied the transitional mood of 1980, when audiences were ready for something refreshing and uplifting. Yet there's something particularly ironic about creating a hit song, celebrating rhythm only to become the musical equivalent of a spectacular one-night fireworks display. Despite his promising start and industry connections, Thompson quickly faded from American charts, joining the ranks of talented artists who briefly shone before disappearing from music's constellation. Number 10. Why Not Me? Fred Noblock. Unlike Thompson's catchy rhythm, sometimes the most powerful hits emerge from our darkest emotions. In 1980, Fred Noblock turned heartbreak into chart gold with a question so devastatingly simple it still resonates today. Why not me? Noblock and collaborator Carson Witt crafted a song that captured one of life's most universally dreaded experiences: watching someone you love marry someone else. This raw vulnerability struck a chord with listeners who had experienced unrequited love, propelling the track to number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 while dominating the adult contemporary chart for 2 straight weeks. What made Why Not Me special wasn't fancy production or instrumental virtuosity. It was Noblock's emotional authenticity that transcended demographic boundaries. That simple, devastating question at the core of the song made listeners across America feel seen in their loneliness.